A bunch of photographers were asked, what is something you wish you knew when you first started photography? So I compiled the best tips and I'm going to tell them to you guys in this video. Before we start, this video is sponsored by Squarespace. Number 1, which I thought was very interesting, watch behind you when you back up. This is something that we don't really think about because we're too busy actually doing it. If you are shooting a wedding, especially, you know you have to back up. You don't have time to look. You're in action mode. You gotta get the shot. The bride is coming down the aisle. You have to back up to be able to get those action shots. So you're not really paying attention. But sometimes you back up into people. You back up into your equipment, like your light stand. Sometimes people have backed up into the cake. Look, I've heard many stories, okay? You don't want to be the person who backs up into the cake and ruins it for everybody. You could be backing up into somebody and then fall and then break your camera, you know? So just like you would when you're driving, check your blind spot. Do one of these, you know, just see what's going on back there and then make your move. And I would say just be cautious, pay attention, and be careful when you're shooting. Number 2, don't drink on the job. Personally, for me, I don't drink any alcohol. I never have, so I don't really think twice about it. Every time I shoot a wedding that has a bar, I don't even go near it. I maybe get a glass of water. That's pretty much it. I'd recommend just stick to water. You don't want to be the person who gets intoxicated at somebody's wedding, especially if you are the main photographer, okay? Imagine you hire somebody and they end up drunk trying to take your picture. Not a good look for you, your business. It doesn't look professional, so you really want to be careful. Take a water bottle with you. Just because it's a celebration and a party doesn't mean that you are a guest and you should be celebrating with them using alcohol. You're there to take the pictures, you're there to do a job. Be careful and drink some water. Learn and shoot manual as soon as possible. I wish I got this memo when I first started because I was shooting on auto settings. That's right, guys. I shot using no flash for about a year or two until I upgraded to the 5D Mark II, and it actually didn't have a no flash setting. So I got the camera and I'm like, wait, where's the no flash? And that's when I learned manual. I was forced to. So don't be like me. Just learn manual when you first start. Practice. Take a picture of your cat. Take a picture of a tree. Really learn ISO, shutter speed, and aperture. It's going to make you the best photographer possible, especially if you are shooting weddings. It's a high speed, fast paced environment. You want to be able to switch settings when you're going from, you know, inside of a reception to outside. So you want to be able to know the exact settings you need and not have to rely on auto settings. Number 4, know the importance of shooting raw. This is really gonna help you, again, especially when you're shooting weddings. Let's say you take a photo that maybe it's a little bit overexposed. If you're shooting raw, you can probably get some of those details back. You can bring down the highlights, you can bring down the whites. But if you're shooting JPEG, there's nothing that you can do. You can maybe post-process it a little bit, but whatever you got is what you got. When you're shooting in raw, you're able to save a little bit more detail and make adjustments to the base photo, which is exactly what you want. So everyone who's watching this, switch from JPEG to RAW right now. Grab your camera, do the adjustments, and thank me later. Number 6, dress professionally. This one is so important. When you're doing a job, you're not there to look good and be the star of the show. You're there, let's be honest, we're there to just blend in, be a fly on the wall, take the pictures, and go home. Get the good shots that you need. You're not there to be the model. You're not there to, you know, be the host of the event. If you show up to a wedding looking better than the bride, then you went too far, okay? Black jeans, black boots, sneakers, whatever, and do the job and go home, and no one remembers who you are. You're there to be invisible. Just like you are in your regular life, right, guys? No one notices me. It's fine. My cat loves me. I'm good. I'm doing great. I'm doing amazing. Always ask before you touch a model or adjust something on a client. That has to be number 1, probably. I don't care if you're moving a piece of hair or you just got to do one of these. Always ask for permission. And honestly, in many cases, just ask the model to do it themselves. Like, they are totally capable of doing these things. It doesn't take someone with a PhD to do one of these. You know what I mean? Just be like, hey, can you flatten down your hair? Oh, there's a piece of hair right here. Most of the time, the clients can do it themselves. There's no need for you to get in there and start adjusting things unless, again, you absolutely have to have a contract. Why am I doing the SpongeBob thing? Because I had to try to sue somebody to get some money. Why? Because I didn't have a contract. That's right, I have a story time about that. You can watch it up here, but I actually had to sue somebody because they wouldn't pay me for wedding pictures. Yikes, right? Anyways, you can see that, but if I had a contract, I wouldn't have to do any of that. So I learned my lesson. Have a contract, get a lawyer to look over it, have it all good to go so that it's professional and you don't have to go to see Judge Judy. Make expectations clear in the contract before accepting any money. That's right, guys. Before you take a single dollar from somebody, make sure you sit down with them, go over the contract, make sure everything is clear, the amount of pictures that they get, how many hours you're gonna be there, how much is it gonna be if you stay extra. You have to have that clear in the contract so that there are no situations where the client comes back to you and is like, well, I didn't know about this. Oh, well, you never told me. If you can, make sure to meet with the client before accepting any money. Sit down with them, go over the contract, maybe a cup of coffee, just go over everything. That's what I do. I meet with them. If they have any questions, I'm there with them to answer any questions. And you get to really see how your clients are in person, if you vibe with them. At the end of the day, a contract is the professional way to go about your photography business. It actually protects both parties, the photographer and the client. Get a second shooter if you need to. You guys, I've shot weddings of up to 700 people by myself. It's a lot of work, okay? I wish I had some help. And then I got some help in my next wedding because I knew I couldn't do it anymore by myself. So don't try to do everything by yourself. Help is definitely the better way to go. Plus, it makes the day funner, to be honest. Having a second shooter on the wedding, you have somebody to talk to, make jokes with, you can bounce ideas off of each other. So in the end, actually, sometimes I prefer to have a second shooter there. It's like working with your best friend, So having someone that you work with constantly, that knows your style, you both can work as a team together to get the best possible pictures. You're basically paying someone to be your friend and follow you around all day. If you aren't comfortable with a job, don't do it. I know a lot of us are very tempted to take every job offer, but sometimes it's best to just pick the ones that fit you as a photographer and that you are comfortable doing and confident in getting the best pictures possible for that client. So what I'm saying is, if there's a client who wants something that's totally opposite of your style, like if you are somebody who uses a lot of flash, but they want all natural pictures, or they want you like hanging from a helicopter, maybe that's not the job for you. Maybe you are not going to be the one that's going to be able to deliver their needs. And it's nothing personal, it's just, okay, do I fit this client's needs? And sometimes you don't, and you just have to accept it. And I think this is going to ensure that you have a smooth experience with every client when you kind of pick and choose what jobs you take based on, okay, how well am I going to fit this job? The next tip I would like to add is having a beautiful website to display your images to show off to your clients. And that brings me to the sponsor for today's video, Squarespace. I absolutely love Squarespace because you can build your online presence and run your business using their all-in-one platform. They have things like analytics, they have an online store, you can sell your merch, you can sell digital products. Especially for photographers, you guys know how important it is to have a beautiful looking website. If you either bump into a client, you're referred to by somebody, you want to have something ready to go that looks great, that's really gonna show off your work in the most professional way possible. Obviously, you guys know the portfolio part of it is super important, which is great because they have a lot of different templates. You can switch it up with a few clicks of a button. It's easily customizable. You can drag and drop stuff to change the order. They really make it easy, and it's not intimidating at all. Literally anybody can do it. Anybody can make a website from scratch. That's definitely one of the main reasons why I always recommend Squarespace. So head to squarespace.com to start a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/Jessica to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. All the links will be in the description, so check it out. Alright guys, that's all I got for you. If you want to leave any of your personal tips, I'd love to hear them, and I'm sure others would too, so leave them below in the comments, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.